Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
How are you doing? Ambassador Ron Adam.
Yes.
Kindly let the readers and the listeners know just a snapshot about who you are.
About me?
Yes, who you are.
So I'm a career diplomat, 30 years in the embassy, in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Okay.
Started in 1990, it's exactly 30 years. I have been serving, I would say, three parts of my career. First part was the Palestinian-Israeli peace process, which I was very much involved in the beginning of 93 and since then until 96, 97. Then I had the second part of my career was the UN career.
Okay.
I did 15 years UN, New York, Geneva, headquarter, 15 years. Then I've been the special envoy on energy.
Okay.
So I really did something completely else. It's my third part of my career. And now is the fourth part, I would say, so when I came first time to Africa, which is lovely, and that's what I wanted.
Interesting. What's a loaded resume in a very short brief.
Yes.
To the nitty-gritty of the interview, what's Israel's foreign policy all about? Israel's foreign policy, what's it all about?
What is all about?
For those who don't know.
Well, it builds on the history and builds of the our need to defend ourselves.
Okay.
Our foreign policy builds on in principle on defense issues. Like since 48 when we established, we are still since then we have been an island among Arab countries who initially for many years wanted to get rid of us from the region. They didn't actually accepted the fact that we want to be an independent state, and it continued until 78, 77, when the first time that someone came to our country was President Sadat from Egypt, and then finally we signed an agreement, peace agreement with him, with Egypt. So at 82, 81 there was peace, complete peace with Egypt. Since then we have peace with Egypt. Then came the Palestinians in 93, 95 came Jordan. So with the Palestinians is still open. Nothing was actually finished, but initial steps were taken. And the foreign policy is built on this sphere of defense. And so otherwise, of course, now we are rebranding ourselves. So we say yes, it's much more than safety, than security and defense. Now we branded ourselves as a startup nation, and yes, our economic situation is fantastic. We are more than 44,000 per capita GDP, which is very high, higher than some European countries. So, and this goes to, and the innovation and the startup, are very important in the Israeli economy. And we build our branding on the fact that we have the most startups per capita in the world.
Interesting. So to the next question, Israel's foreign policy, has it been the same way it was from 1948, or it has evolved?
So I told you just now that it has evolved. We are no longer doing only defense. Of course, defense is important, but and we have still our enemies. Yes, we have our enemies. Iran is one of the enemies. I mean, we have nothing against the people of Iran, but the leaders there are still in the notion of destroying the country, of sending rockets, whatever they do, and they have their arms, their long arms in the region. They have an arm in Lebanon, which is Hezbollah. They have an arm in Gaza, which is Hamas, and they are all over the place. They cover us with their arms, and this is, of course, the enemy of the state. But so this is foreign policy, which still stay on the issue of defense. But as I said, we are rebranding ourselves as a startup nation, as a place for Tel Aviv, for example, as a city of the world, as a city that doesn't sleep. Tel Aviv is a tolerant city for LGBT, for everyone. It's a very liberal city. We brand Tel Aviv as part of Israel as the city of fun. And then Jerusalem, of course, is a branding of the city of religions and the footsteps of Jesus Christ. We are really encouraging tourism, and tourism has really increased. So this is the branding. But what we do as ambassadors, we do a lot of economy. So we do economy. We are economic ambassadors. We promote the Israeli, made in Israel. We promote the Israeli industry. We promote working places, employment of Israeli industry by exporting. So here, for example, in Rwanda, we will get there. There is not much trade. So we are looking for new opportunities.
Frontiers. Interesting. Considering what Israel went through before the state of Israel was established in 1948, it's more than a miracle. But as the nation that was known as an arid nation, has the nation been able to transform itself into a startup nation, considering, if I'm right, Israel is more arid, but Israel is one of the best countries when it comes to agriculture. Has that transformation been able to be implemented and sustained?
Yes. So the land was more than half arid land. It was the desert. It's called Negev Desert, and it was Ben Gurion, our first prime minister, who in the 50s already and the 60s not only preached to go to the Negev and develop it, but he himself moved to the Negev from Jerusalem, Tel Aviv. He lived in Tel Aviv, he lived in Jerusalem. He moved himself with his wife to live in the Negev. So he lived south of Beersheba even, so a long way from Tel Aviv at the time. And he was really a visionary person. Yes, we can compare him to President Paul Kagame, and it is amazing similarities. So the Negev, through the modern agriculture, through irrigation system that we invented, Israeli companies brought this to the world. Now you can see in the Negev so much agriculture, which is amazing. And it is sustained. Yes, we have so many villages there. In the middle of the desert, you see a lot of green. And this is not only today is like you put irrigation system and the water flows every time, all the time. No. Today you have sensors on the plant, and the sensors with the Internet of Things, with some information and knowledge in the cloud, and with the forecast of the weather, with the land, with the soil situation, etc., the plant will drink exactly what he needs and when he needs. And that is how irrigation is today. It's very, very modern. Today's farmer almost does nothing after he puts the things. He just use his tablet and computes and everything. So and the production is very high. And it's not only horticulture, vegetables and fruits, etc. It's also livestock. We have very, very good production of milk. It's the highest in the world. It is because of modern agriculture.
Really?
Yes. So it is really, I would say, the startup nation and the innovation ecosystem, which is very developed, started with agriculture for sure.
Interesting. Marvin. To one of the things you talked about, Ambassador, people would ask, why is there always tensions and frictions amongst Israel and our neighbors in the Middle East? Do you think the world would ever hear of peace from the Middle East? Do you think that's possible?
Of course it's possible. It must be possible. It must be possible. But it might be even one more generation.
Oh, really?
Until everyone understands that it will be, that it will come. Because even if we want now to leave the territories, to continue with the also process, even if we wanted to do it now you cannot do it, because there is no knowledge of what will become of the territories. Let's say West Bank, which is a place which the Palestinians want to have their independent state, and by the way, they have They are controlling for years already on their cities. The cities in West Bank are doing very well. If it's Hebron, if it's Bethlehem, if it is other cities, Ramallah, which is the capital of their Palestinian Authority, in the sense, capital in the sense that the government sits there. So the cities are doing very well because they are doing very well. The West Bank is doing very well economically. They want to have a state, but now if we withdraw completely from this area in the sense of really, now the army is not in the cities, it's part of the Oslo agreements and the follow-up agreements, which were the interim agreements. We are not in the cities. But if we leave completely the territories, you never know what comes instead. So who comes instead of Abu Mazen and this regime? If Hamas comes, we have 3 kilometers from the airport, Hamas regime with rockets. It's impossible. It's impossible. That's what happened in Gaza. When we left Gaza altogether, we are never again in Gaza for years. We are not having one soldier or one person in Israel. Gaza is completely free from any Israeli presence. But instead of building a new Hong Kong of the Middle East, which was our plan for them, they built tunnels in order to attack us under the border, getting into villages. They spend billions of dollars instead of giving their citizens, instead of building malls and hospitals and schools and industry, they build tunnels. It's insane. They build tunnels in order to get into Israel and to attack us from the tunnels. This is like First World War, Second World War things that come back, which is amazing, which is so much waste of money, and it's sad. For what? They cannot do really harm to us, but they spend so much money on attacking. So 2, 3, even 10, terrorists will come in, they will kill 1 or 2. So what? I mean, this will not change anything. Instead of really using so much money in order to build their industry, they build things. So that is what we have in Gaza. We cannot allow it to have in the West Bank, which is controlled still by Abu Mazen, the Palestinian Authority. And also from Lebanon, we don't have any dispute on land, but they have Hezbollah there, who are the longer arm of Iran, and they also build tunnels. We found tunnels in the past, and now we are finding more tunnels. So they cannot really kick us out. Instead of that, they have to realize that we are there to stay. Iran has to disappear with the Ayatollah regime. Then we might proceed with the peace.
So, with what you said some minutes ago, peace is probably possible in a generation's time.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I don't think it will come soon. But of course that's what we wish, we pray. And there are a lot of Palestinians, a lot, I would say more than 50%, that want peace. They want to live in peace and prosperity. It's normal. It's human beings.
Yes, human beings. Interesting. To Africa and to the African continent. What's the level of progress of cooperation between Israel and countries like and Rwanda in terms of ICT? You can take it one by one in terms of ICT cooperation, collaboration, agriculture and education. Since, as you know, Israel is one of the startup countries.
So there was actually the relations with the relations on ICT as it is with other civilian issues like modern agriculture, like water management, health and education and all these, tourism. We are building now the whole new level of relationship and cooperation and investment in all these fields. So we are now doing that. We are doing many things now as an embassy. We sent a delegation of regulators and private sector to Israel last month to learn from Rwanda to learn about the ecosystem of innovation, how to create it here, to learn our experience. They went all over the country. They had a very, very good program of 1 week. And this is what they want to do here. They want to be hub of innovation, hub of proof of concept for companies in the world to come here to do the proof of concept for their products, and then they can do it in the rest of Africa, because this is a place to do business, a place to create business, new business. It's very easy. And here we will help them doing that. We have some hubs in the city, but I'm going to establish a hub of innovation in the embassy.
Really?
Yes. Outside where you saw the area. This is the area which I will use for hub of innovation for Israeli companies who will come here and do the proof of concept with some Rwandan partners. Yes, and the jewel in the crown is going to be a conference, which we are going to do in March. Conference on cyber, which will be in Africa, because I managed to bring the company, to the Israeli company, who are doing a very big conference in Tel Aviv every year.
They are doing
Cybertech Tel Aviv
next week.
So exactly, Cybertech Tel Aviv, and they are coming here in March 24-25, and this is the brochure, and we are looking forward to see many African, both private sector but also regulators and people from the public sector to come to this conference. This is an African conference on cyber.
Interesting.
And there are more things which we do, but these are really the highlights.
Snapshots. Interesting. Considering where Israel has gotten to from 1948 in a short space of time, what are the things as an ambassador and as a career diplomat, and who are seeing everything you need to see when it comes to international relations and global politics, considering from the Israeli perspective, what are the areas, and what do you think countries like Rwanda, Nigeria, and other African countries, what do you think they can learn from Israel pertaining to our past history, turmoil she has had, and the transformation, the rapid transformation?
So
I'm being a superpower right now.
Okay, so first of all, I can talk about Rwanda because I'm not so much really expert in Africa. I'm trying to learn a little bit about my region, the region of East Africa. Of course, Nigeria, I don't know much. I have a friend from Nigeria who is working in Andela here, so I learn a little bit from him, but not too much. So I'm curious. Of course, it's a huge power. Nigeria is a huge country. There's a lot of oil and etc. So I cannot talk about Africa. I can talk about Rwanda. In Rwanda, I'm telling you, I don't know, you mentioned superpower. I don't call ourselves superpower, but of course we are a good country with, I mean, in the sense of economy and everything going very well. But I think that culturally we can learn a lot from here, not vice versa.
Really?
Yes. I see the culture which goes back to the kingdom. I see the homegrown solutions, which are amazing tools to promote the community, to promote synergy, to promote unity, and good intention, to promote good intention between the people, and they behave so differently here. Every day we can learn something here, really. We are completely different in Israel. Yes, we think outside the box because we are not so official, we are not so protocol people. So of course that's which makes us innovative and think outside the box and be innovative and create innovation ecosystem. But every country, and Every people have their own way of, and we should learn. We can learn a lot here, really. But yes, we send people and they can learn what we do. And the best thing is to be in the middle somewhere and to benefit from both cultures and to grow from there.
Interesting.
Yeah, we can learn a lot.
Interesting. Final question.
And I just want to add that the president is using, which I really admire and adore, President Paul Kagame, he really used homegrown solutions, and he did it from the beginning, and I think he created something which is amazing here, a unique place in Africa.
Interesting. So the final question, what is the title of the book you are currently reading?
Well, now I read again The Alchemist, by the way. Yes,
really?
By Paulo Coelho.
Yeah, okay,
I like this book, so I come back to it because I read it many years ago, I think in the end of 80s, and I needed to go back to read it because it's way of life, and it's it has to do with the way you choose and the... but I just finished my PhD recently, so I read a lot of books which have to do with my PhD. And I just got my PhD recently. So
what was your PhD?
It is about history of the Zionist diplomacy.
Interesting.
Yes. So pre-independent, pre-state. Yes, I actually investigated. I researched from 1920 to 1939.
Interesting.
This period of what the Zionist diplomacy was all about.
Interesting.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.